I'm Adam.
I'm Dan.
And we are here to review and discuss Hotel Artemis. I'll start by saying that I was like on like the fence with this movie. Like it was like a 50-50 kind of shot whether I'd see it or not. And basically what it boiled down to was it was a boring Saturday night. So we just decided to go see this for the hell of it. And I'm not mad at it.
No. It wasn't like, the thing is, it's an interesting concept for a movie, certainly, and it's a cool idea. Unfortunately, the movie just wasn't that exciting.
No, I was going to say, the one big thing I'll get right out of the way is that if you had saw the trailers for this film, and if that's what made you want to go see the movie was the trailers are very misleading, because the trailers make it seem like this is going to be like this action-packed movie, Raid style, like almost like the Raid, because like they set up in the commercials how it's like, oh, like the big bad guy is coming, like basically the big like bad boss or whatever, which is Jeff Goldblum, and it's like, oh, he's coming in the movies. The trailers made it seem like he's coming to get to somebody, right? And that's why he's coming, and then they show like kind of like the little bit of action sequences that are actually in the movie in the trailer to basically sell you on the idea that like, oh, this is going to be like the Raid or like Dread, where it's like going to be like they're in a hotel, they gotta fucking fight those fucking mob bosses, like fucking gangs, from floor to floor or some shit like that. And it's not that at all. No. This is not at all an action film.
This is a character piece.
It really is, yeah. Now, that's not to say it's a bad character piece or anything like that. But it's just that if you kind of went in with my mindset where I thought I was going to see kind of a cheesy action film, you might be disappointed. Now, what we did get, I was not really disappointed by it, but it wasn't the best thing in the world either.
Right.
It feels like it so desperately badly wants to be a cult film. Like, this is like a movie where it's like, they made this movie knowing that, we're probably not going to do very well at the box office, because there's a lot of other, big name movies and stuff coming out. But like, man, we're hoping that a year from now, we'll like, after we're on video, we'll find our niche audience and we'll get all the revenue from that sort of thing. And that's what it feels like. It feels like as if it was trying too hard to be a cult film. Yeah.
Jodie Foster is arguably kind of the main character.
Yeah, she is. She's the main character, I would say. She's the one who runs the hotel.
Yeah, she's the one who runs the hotel. She's arguably the main character. The problem is she's not the first one we meet.
Her performance-wise isn't bad. It's not a bad performance. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
It's just that it's Jodie Foster, so I've seen her give much better performances, and I've also seen her give much worse performances. So, like, this is somewhere in the middle. It's kind of just a passable performance.
Yeah.
And they give her, like, this whole plot about, like, her kid. Like, that's, like, why she's kind of cooped up in this hotel, and she decided to, like, run this hotel. It's actually a hospital for criminals.
Yeah.
Is because, like, something happened to her child, where basically he died, and like that's like her thing is like basically she has, I don't know what the phobia is called, but like she doesn't want to go outside. Agoraphobia. Yeah. She basically has that. She has anxiety. She takes a bunch of different medications and stuff. So she wants to avoid outside as much as possible. I guess like in there she feels like at least in there it's her world sort of thing.
Yeah,
she
she's
has
in charge.
over it.
She's safe, yeah.
Whereas outside there, she didn't have control, and that's why her child died. And like the movie kind of explores that. But, like, the way they handle it near the end just seems like an afterthought. Like, it was kind of written in last minute because someone thought to themselves, oh, yeah, we left a plot thread here that we really should just tie up.
Yeah.
And then that's what that feels like. So that's a little disappointing. My favorite character by far in the movie is Batista's character.
Yeah.
Dave Batista, who has quickly become one of my favorite actors. In this film, again, kind of steals the show when he's in it. Like every scene he's in, he's funny. He's got a great screen presence about him, and in a weird way, he basically is just playing Drax, but he's playing Drax. Yeah, but he's playing
a little bit smarter.
But a little bit smarter, but he's pretty much Drax, and he's Drax with basically a Latino accent.
Yeah.
But it works though. I mean, it's good. It's enjoyable. He's funny, and he gives a really good performance.
He's the only one who seems to actually be like trying to move things forward.
Yeah,
which is weird because he's not the main character.
Yeah, but he's also kind of the only guy who actually does anything. Throughout the movie.
Yeah,
too.
Yeah. I think that was my point too. Yeah. It's like he's the only one who's actually taking action to like move things along. Everyone else is just sort of like wandering until things happen.
Yeah. I'll mention two more performances. Jeff Goldblum's in the movie, and I love me some Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in this movie, he's not in it very long. So if you go into this movie like I did, expecting he's going to play like this big part in it, he really doesn't.
Right.
They make a big deal about him like throughout the movie. He kind of shows up near the end. And he's not in it very long, and they don't give him anything to really work with.
He clearly wanted to be himself, but they just sort of only give him a couple of scenes.
Yeah. And then the last performance I'll mention is Charlie Day's performance, which he's the only one who is really over the top, but he's over the top in a good way because he's playing this jackass, like basically this jerk. And like it's basically just him doing Charlie from it's the similar
but instead of being like the lovable like doofus, he's playing Charlie as like a straight up criminal,
like a straight up just asshole, like fucking dirtbag. And he's got some good lines, he's got some good dialogue also, and he interacts with the people, and he's got some funny shit to say. But in the end, while you're watching the movie, like you kind of sit there and see him, and you're like, at first he doesn't seem important in the movie at all until the very end where he just kind of shows back up. Yeah. And then it's like all of a sudden he's like an important part of the movie, I guess. But for me, the biggest problem with the movie is that the movie is almost kind of like, it starts off like with like basically kind of like a mystery where it's like they set up plot threads, like these different things going on where like the black guy accidentally steals diamonds that are worth like millions of dollars, and like ends up that belongs to the guy who actually owns the hotel. So he's sitting there thinking to himself, "Oh shit, someone's gonna come for these." The French girl, who's basically an assassin, is what she does. Wounds herself to go into the Hotel Artemis, but then you quickly learn that she did that to herself to get in, so she could get closer to someone who she needs to kill. Yeah. But the funny thing is like, so like for like the first like half of the movie, you're trying to figure out who is she there to kill, because there's not many characters in the movie. Right, The movie's very small in terms of characters. So you sit there and think to yourself, who is she there to kill? And then the weird thing is like the person who she's there to kill shows up later. But the weird thing about it is that there was no guarantee in the story that this person was going to show up. Right. You find out about 20 or 30 minutes after she explains and lets us the audience know that she's there to kill somebody. It's not until about 20 minutes after that we learn, okay, the person she's coming to kill, who we end up finding out she's coming to kill, is on his way over there. And it's like, it just, when you get to the end, when you realize who she's there to kill, it just seems, again, almost like the Jodie Foster thing, where it's like, it was like a plot thread that they forgot to like tie up. And then, like, at the last minute, they, like, wrote some shit in. It was like, okay, here's a good way to tie it. Yeah. And, unfortunately, that's kind of how the movie feels. The movie feels like it starts off with a lot of different plot threads and a lot of different, like, ideas and stories. But, like, it all just kind of, like, near the end just kind of gets wrapped up and, like, loosely, like, tied together really quickly. And it doesn't, there's nothing organic feeling about it. It just kind of feels like it just gets thrown together. Yeah. The climax sucks. Yeah. Because it starts off great. It starts off really great with fucking Batista and fucking some good fucking action sequences going on. And then it comes to a screeching halt, and we follow two characters until the very end, and we don't get to see the conclusion of anything that it built up. No. And that was really disappointing. Yeah,
it was one of those things, and like, even for those two characters, like, they do have a face-off with someone, but it's not real satisfying, and it doesn't really do anything character-wise for them. Like, it's not like, like they both have to, like, realize something about themselves, and, like, they have to overcome some sort of, like, they've already done that at this point. Yeah. And, like, so it's just sort of like, the people that are the, quote-unquote good guys, because they are all criminals, but, like, the protagonists of the film, the people we've been following, end up coming out in the end, and it's just like, okay. Had all of those other things, muddy as they were, built up to, like, an awesome climax, it would have been like, well, that was worth it. Yeah. And then it just sort of built up to like a wet fart.
Yeah. This movie's almost, I'll compare it to earlier this year, we saw Strangers Pray at Night, where this movie's almost the exact opposite. Yeah. Where Pray at Night slowed and was really shitty throughout, but ended up having this awesome climax. Yeah. Whereas this film is actually pretty good and passable and decent throughout the whole thing, and then you get up to that climax, and it's a very big disappointment.
Yeah. Like, it was, again, it's an interesting concept for a movie that unfortunately just wasn't handled as well as you wish it would have been. Like, there's so much potential for, like, good quirky characters and memorable, like, even if they weren't going to go the action route, there's so much potential for good quirky characters and memorable, like, lines and dialogue, and they didn't really even do that, like, even as a character piece. It's just sort of mediocre. So, I don't know. I'm wobbling between scores here, but I can't justify giving it higher than a 6.
So you're going with a 6?
Yeah.
All right. The way I feel about the film, again, is that I agree with you. It's a very interesting concept. It seems like it's something that should have worked.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, it's just kind of not handled very well, especially, like I said, with the idea of all these plot threads that all just kind of seem to get kind of thrown together at the last minute. You got a fantastic cast in this movie with Jodie Foster, Jeff Goldblum, fucking Batista, Charlie Day. You got an awesome cast, but unfortunately, there's just not much for them to work with in the movie.
Yeah.
Jodie Foster tries her best to make it work, and for what she does, it's decent enough performance. Batista is good because he's just a very likable and just fun guy, and he's funny, and he's just got a great screen presence. And Charlie Day is just doing Charlie Day.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, he's basically playing himself.
He's just playing himself, and unfortunately, like I said, Jeff Goldblum, they gave nothing for him to work with. I agree with you. I am also going to give it a 6 out of 10. If it would have had a better ending, a more satisfying ending, I probably would have gave it a 7 and would have said, yeah, I think this is worth paying money to go see, but no, it's not. So that's going to do it for this review. So to recap, we both give Hotel Artemis a 6 out of 10. With that, I'm going to say please thumbs up the video if you like it. Please subscribe to our channel, and please leave a comment and let us know what you guys thought of the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's it for this review, and we are going to be back with Hereditary.